Okay, so this is a game that I just played against this player right here from Czech Republic, and this just goes to show that you gotta keep playing even if you lose material. And it's not because I was some amazing player or I made some incredible moves. It just so happened that I was able to win a game when I thought I was gonna lose for sure. So this is how it went. He opened up with a Caro-Kann. I developed my piece. He pinned my knight. So I pushed my pawn up, trying to open up the black square bishop. He pushed with the knight. I decided that I was going to put some pressure on him, get some tempo. So his knight went this way to e4. And at this point I had to do something about the bishop because I didn't like the position. So I pushed him. He decides to take. He took my knight, threatening my queen, so I have to take with my pawn. And then he decides to move away with his bishop. I unpin myself. He takes the knight. I take back, and this is what the position looks like. Then he decides to push his pawn, I guess trying to attack my center. If he takes, it will actually work better for me, so I didn't do anything. I just continued with my own plan. Castled. He opens up the bishop for himself. So I decided to pin his pawn, because if he takes with the pawn, I will take his bishop. He will lose his castling rights. But he did it anyway. He didn't take my pawn. He opened up his bishop anyway. So I took, he took, and then I thought maybe I'll put some pressure on that b pawn. He saw it. I developed my queen a little bit further in case he wants to move his knights. But he wanted to exchange, and I didn't want to, so I brought my queen back. And that right there is a weakness, because he's now opening up his king side and he doesn't have castling. So I wanted to somehow explore that, so I moved my queen to c1. He brings his king in case he wants to do, in case he decides to push the pawn. I decided to prevent that. So I put my queen on g5. He brings his rook over to e8, I guess making some room for himself. And I decided to push my pawn, because if I push my pawn one more time, it's pinned. So he threatened to take my pawn. I did a little bit of calculation here for myself, and I thought, you know what, this is worth it for me. So he took my pawn. I scared the king, check. He moves, I move my queen, and I thought checkmate in a couple of moves. Perfect. But he already thought this through, and he actually got the escape zone. So knowing that I can't really checkmate him, I decided to perhaps protect my pawn, attacking the queen. And here he wants to exchange, and technically I should have exchanged, but I didn't, because I thought I can still win. I'm winning pieces here. So I did check, and I snagged the pawn, and not realizing at this point that my queen is trapped. So in a couple of moves here, I started to see the threats. He moved his knight, opened up the ranks, and I could tell, oh, I'm in trouble here. What do I do? So this is where I was thinking for a while. This took me a minute and 40 seconds to kind of look at the position and say, like, what's the best way to go? I decided that there's no way for me to save the queen when he threatens to take it, I will retake with a pawn. Maybe get a little bit of extra time to maybe make a couple of moves. So, knowing that I can't do anything about the queen, I started to develop my piece, push my pawn, attack, move my queen, attack, and I moved my pawn forward, knowing that maybe I can retake a pawn, do something, I don't know. He took my queen, I took the rook, he threatens to take my pawn, I used the pawn, he retook with the pawn, I pinned his knight, he takes my pawn, nothing I can do. I'm looking at this position right now and can't really do anything, so maybe I need to bring my white bishop to a better square. So I move it to d1. He decides to threaten nothing at this point. So I pin the knight. I think I can win a piece here, right? And he's threatened to take my rook, but before that I have a check. And there's only one square to go. So he goes back, I check him again, he goes back to the original spot, and here's the win. Checkmate. Wow, what a great game for me. I felt great after that. I felt great, man. And this is again showing you that sometimes there's ways to win that you don't know exist. Like when did I see all of this? No, I didn't. I just played. I tried to make the best out of a bad situation. I knew I was gonna lose my queen, and I didn't realize that. So I continued to play what I could play. Did I see this? Maybe at the last couple of moves I saw that, oh wait a minute, there's a checkmate here. But I got lucky.